Well, I want to talk about Boston Public.
Okay.
You got to come around
The show
and get
that's
me.
done in Boston?
Yeah, the show that's done in Boston. Was it actually taped here?
Oh, sure.
Okay, okay. One of the episodes of Boston Public, one of my favorite entertainers was on, and I have to say this because he's part
Whitney?
of the... No, he's part of the full figure community, Heavy D.
Love him. Nicest man in the world.
You hear this? Heavy D, Jonathan Pontel. He says you're the nicest guy in the world.
Is he going to see this? Dwight,
Of course.
how you doing? It's funny because when Dwight did the show, he was pretty heavy. Mm-hmm. And then Dwight lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he did.
So I now refer to him as slightly overweight D.
Now, and Boston Public was a very interesting show because it dealt with, the teachers and the high school and that kind of thing. And then, then there was Boston Legal, which you never worked on. And that's what I wanted to know. Why did you ever work on Boston Legal?
Because you could only work on one show at a time.
Okay.
It's a lot of work.
And they were both going simultaneously?
They were both going simultaneously. Okay. The average work day, and you know this, is you start Monday, you come in at 7.
Yeah.
Right? And when do you wrap on a normal day?
7.
8. 8 o'clock.
It's 12 to 14 hours.
So that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you can only work on one show at a time.
Yeah, and it was so interesting because a lot of David Kelly shows make stars. Taraji P. Henson was on Boston Legal, and she's huge now, And, you had Heavy D, you had Jennifer Holiday. There's so many people that David Kelly Productions has given an opportunity to just, their careers just blow up.
Who was Callista Flockhart before Ally McBeal?
Callista Flockhart was the fiance in the Robin Williams film.
That's right, it was a very small part. Right?
Yeah.
Birdcage,
that's right. Mm. And she just came out of nowhere. We didn't know who she was, but of course people in this business, even though people may not recognize her face, they've probably been working behind the scenes for a long period of time. One of the young ladies you used as a stenographer in Legally Mad, Nicole, she's been working behind the scenes. She's talent coordinator, production coordinator on a lot of award shows. And she played a stenographer on your new show, Legally Mad, which, I definitely want to talk to you about that because when we talked on the phone about Legally Mad, unfortunately NBC didn't pick it up.
Right.
But when I questioned you about it, you made reference to the fact that it doesn't work like that in Hollywood. Where I come from, if one network or one film company doesn't pick it up, you take it to another one or you just put it out there yourself. So why doesn't it work like that in Hollywood?
Well, because there's a lot of different ways things work in Hollywood.
Okay.
Now, the best way I could put it is if I'm a guy, I'm a writer, and I wrote a pilot. It's my first pilot.
Okay.
Right? And I take it somewhere, say NBC, and they pass. I'm probably going to take it somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay? If I've created 12 hit shows over 20 years, if I have a multi-million-dollar contract with Warner Brothers as a producing partner, if I take a show to NBC and they don't pick it up, and they're paying me a multi-million-dollar penalty, which is the way it works.
they have to pay a penalty.
A multi-million-dollar penalty. I'm not going to take that show anywhere. First place, I don't get the penalty if I take it somewhere else. And in a certain way, is that making sense?
Jonathan got some money. I need to hit him up for my show.
No, I didn't get that money. David Kelly got that money.
Kelly
and Warner
got that
Brothers
money.
got that money.
Yes,
because
that's right.
Their deal.
Yeah, it's their deal.
And so that's why, sometimes people.
Okay, now I understand.
And it depends on who you are.
And I was reading about that last night on the internet. I was reading about the fact that NBC didn't pick it up, then they would have to pay this major 7-figure penalty to Warner Brothers.
Correct.
But I also read, and I want you to correct me, because information is constantly coming out and it changes with the technology and the society that we live in today. I also read that NBC may not have to pay that penalty if they take another show from Warner Brothers. It was a show called Chuck or something.
That might be.
Okay.
Well, they pay a smaller penalty.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's all kinds of deals made in this business. There's all kinds of deals
No,
made.
but that's very educational.
So,
I want people to know that's how that
you know,
works.
David is a unique producer. I mean, if you say who are the 5 top producers in the history of television, he's going to be one.
Of course.
So he's not a guy who, you know, he just started again. I mean, there's a reason NBC doesn't pick up a show. It's not an arbitrary thing generally. So the show has a little bit of an ick on it in a way.
Well, you know, I'm
saying?
just like this feisty person. I'm like, Jonathan, you have to fight for the show. You have to get the show out there. It's like, you know what? They paying us, forget it. So Jonathan Pontel Productions, what does that entail? I mean, are you doing some of your...
Letterhead?
At least he's honest. He said it's just a letterhead. That is hilarious. So, yeah, because I'm wondering, are you doing some of your own productions aside from David?
Not so much. You know, I have a manager, and he talks about, you know,
Ross?
Yeah, do you know Ross?
I'm glad you brought him up.
How do you know Ross?
Ross Feynman.
Yeah.
I don't know Ross Feynman, but look, I'm a detective. I was trying to track you down. And I want to...
Well, that's how you got my phone number.
I didn't get your phone number. I want to send a special shout out to Ross Feynman. And the reason, he's a great person. And the reason I say that is because oftentimes in this industry, people tell you that they'll take your information, they'll call you back, they'll forward your information, and you never hear anything. Joanne, over at the Producers Guild of America, she went into a database, and there's a helicopter going over our head right now. That's probably the news. Something major's probably happened, a wildfire. You know, we're in California. But anyway, I want to say hello to Joanne at the Producers Guild because she went above and beyond her job to try to help me locate you. And because you're not a member of the Producers Guild. I thought you would be a member of the Producers Guild because you're a producer, but you're actually a member of DGA, which is the Directors Guild of America. So what happened was she looked up your information in a totally separate database, and she gave me your manager's number. And I called, I left him a voicemail, but on the voicemail, it referred to the cell phone. He was in the process, I think, of moving offices.
That's right.
So I called him on his cell. I told him who I was. I said, listen, I'm in L.A. I know Jonathan from Ally McBeal. He said, okay, email me all of your information, and I will get in touch with Jonathan right away. Before I even emailed him anything, Jonathan called. Jonathan called. What do you see the future, you know, in terms of programming, episodic television?
I think cable's the future.
Okay.
I really see it. I think there's more creativity. There's more interesting things being done now. Well,
it has been a pleasure.
Well,
sitting here talking to you.
Back at you. I hope it was informative.
It was informative, and I'm so grateful and appreciative that you sat down with me as the mother of house music. See, this is a historical moment because no one in my community does what I do. So to meet and talk with you like this, you know, it's just been awesome. And listen, I want you to tell David the next show you guys do.
Tell him, do something about his hair.
Well, not just the hair. I mean, he was a Barry White fan. He loves music. You got to get some house music on some of his shows.
He's really, you know, he's invigorated careers.
Yes, he has.
And Barry White, he really invigorated Barry White's
career. He did. And I'm available as a producer, a writer, and an actress. Right. I'm available.
Hi, my name's Jonathan Pontel, and I'm allowing Mother Diva to use my likeness and this interview in any way she sees fit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. It was lovely. It was a pleasure.
And we'll be right back after these messages.